The International Atomic Energy Agency, which did not even bother to condemn the attack on Iran's nuclear facilities, not even for appearance's sake, has put its international credibility up for sale. And for this reason, the Atomic Energy Organization of Iran is suspending its cooperation with the agency until the security of the nuclear facilities is guaranteed, and Iran's peaceful nuclear program will proceed at an even faster pace.
So for that to confirm, for the whole situation to evaluate, we need to return. Of course, we have to recognize that there was a war, there was military action until yesterday. So there is, of course, common sense and dignity that we need to respect. But at the same time, we have said we need to return, we need to re-engage. And yesterday, I wrote a letter to Arakchi saying, well, let's meet to analyze the modality.
In a big move, Iran's parliament has voted to suspend cooperation with the UN nuclear watchdog, the International Atomic Energy Agency, amid deepening tensions. The symbolic vote reflects growing anger in Tehran following Israeli and U.S. airstrikes on Iran's nuclear infrastructure. Lawmakers chanted "Death to America" and "Death to Israel" after passing the measure, according to Iranian state television. The bill must now be ratified by the Supreme National Security Council, chaired by President Masoud Pezeshkian. Notably, foreign policy decisions in Iran often need approval from bodies loyal to Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Since June 13, Israel has launched unprecedented airstrikes on Iran's nuclear sites, killing key scientists and commanders. In a first, the United States also bombed Iranian nuclear facilities in Fordo, Isfahan, and Natanz on June 22nd. The joint attacks aimed to cripple Tehran's nuclear ambitions, but only set back the program by a few months, analysts say. The IAEA said that its inspections have been halted and its teams are eager to return to assess the damage on the ground. IAEA Chief Rafael Grossi warned conditions at the sites are highly abnormal, with rubble and possible unexploded bombs. Grossi confirmed Iran had taken protective measures involving its uranium stockpile following the recent strikes. The IAEA further said that over 400 kilograms of uranium enriched to 60% was last verified just days before the Israeli air campaign began. Grossi has proposed talks in Vienna and says restoring inspection access is urgent to avoid a deeper nuclear crisis.
On the highly enriched uranium stock, has Iran told you how much of its HEU stock survived these strikes, particularly the 60%? How do you imagine or envisage the verification of that proceeding? And perhaps in practical terms, you've said it's your number one priority to return to these sites. I mean, some of them have been reduced to rubble. So, I mean, how do you imagine that proceeding? And just generally, how do you expect this verification effort to proceed in the coming days and weeks?
If you have 2 hours, I can explain all of that. But short, he's an expert. So this is number one priority, like you say. We know that, and I had received a letter from the Iranian foreign minister saying that they had taken protective measures already. They did not get into details into what that meant, but clearly that was the implicit meaning of that. So we can imagine that this material is there. So for that to confirm, for the whole situation to evaluate, we need to return. Of course, we have to recognize that there was a war, there was military action until yesterday. So there is, of course, common sense and dignity that we need to respect. But at the same time, we have said we need to return, we need to re-engage. And yesterday, I wrote a letter to Arakchi saying, well, let's meet to analyze the modalities. You know, going back to places that have been shelled is not like going in a normal sort of inspection. There is rubble, there could be unexploded ordnance, there are many, many aspects. There could be some radiological impact, although we know, and this we were discussing with the government in the morning, we know that given the relative small amount of nuclear material in the places that were hardly hit, there was very, very small radiological release, perhaps inside the place that was bombarded. One could even, with protective gear, go around. So that is, relative good news. But we have to go back, and going back with inspectors to these places is not an easy thing. So my idea is to try to engage with them as soon as possible. Why not in Vienna? This is the world's nuclear non-proliferation capital. So why not here to re-engage and to start looking at the modalities for that inspection to continue. What we cannot afford, not only for Iran or the IAEA, for the international community, we cannot afford that because of this, the inspection regime is interrupted. So this is where I'm putting now the emphasis and what I'm also going to be discussing with President Macron today and with other leaders in the next few days. Thank you very much.
Danke. Die Frau Poschner hat eine Frage.
Another question to Mr. Grossi. Mr. Grossi, there are some reports that the military strikes sets back Iran's nuclear program by only a few months. What is your assessment?
You know, this hourglass approach is something I never liked. You remember the 45 minutes, the 1 hour, the 3 hours, the 3 months. It's not my cup of tea, so to say. And it's in the eye of the beholder, because when you look at the Wiederaufbau, the reconstruction of the infrastructure is not impossible. First, there has been some that survived the attacks, and then this is work that Iran knows how to do. It would take some time. So for me, what is important is that these activities will continue. The military operation has its own logic, and I'm not here to value whether it's good or bad. We have the situation that we have, and we have to work and to continue. What is clear is that in any case, the technological knowledge is there, and the industrial capacity is there that no one can deny. So we need to work together with them. Then you can, value whether it's a matter of 2 months or 3 months. That is perhaps not so important. What is important is that we need, and I think the minister just said it, we need a long-standing and something that will stand the test of time. We have suffered a lot. We thought we had it. Sorry. With the JCPOA, it didn't work. It doesn't matter who is wrong or who is right. It's no longer there. So we have to look for a solution. There was a process led by Ambassador Witkoff. As you know, I'm in contact with him, and Foreign Minister Arakci. We can see now there's a chance. There's a chance for a diplomatic solution, and I think out of of course, the bad things that military conflict bring, there's also now a possibility, an opening, and we shouldn't miss that opportunity.